In this video, we're going to learn how to make a simple game token for use with the 3D printer. To do that, open Sketchup and you need to select the right template. Right now, this one with the lady in the middle of the screen, that's the wrong template. Let's switch templates by clicking Sketchup in the top left-hand side of the screen. Go to Preferences and then find 3D Printing Millimeters from the list of options. Be careful you don't pick 3D printing inches, this is the wrong one. Let's stick with metric. So 3D printing millimeters, there it is. You click on it to select it, so it's highlighted in blue. There is no OK button. Simply click the red dot to close this window. Now go to File, New. This will open the template that we just chose. Make sure the selection tool is highlighted and then drag a box around the 3D printer template because we want to get this out of the way and we're not using the MakerBot Replicator 3D printer anyway. So when we've dragged the box around this, it will be highlighted in blue. Then press the delete key to get rid of it. With that gone, our template is ready to use. So before we draw anything, I'm going to reposition the camera. I'm going to use the pan and orbit tool. So click on the hand at the top of the screen and click on the screen and move the cursor upwards to reposition the camera, move the axes points up. And then if needed, you can click on the orbit tool, click on the screen and hold and rotate the axes points. But what's really important here at the moment is that we zoom in slightly because what we're going to make is a very small counter. Now, we need to be able to see how large the counter is when we actually make it. And if you look at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there should be a measurements box here. You can't see that right now, and that's because the SketchUp screen extends beyond the edge of my actual computer screen. Now, the fastest way to fix this is to simply click on the green dot so your screen fits the computer screen perfectly. The problem is when you start to use certain tools and you position them somewhere on the screen, there's a strange bug and it will start to switch to the desktop and things, and I don't know why it does that. It's a bug that no one seems to have fixed. So I'm just going to come out of full screen mode and instead I'm just going to resize the screen. So I'm just going to bring that over, put it back into the corner, click on the edge there and just drag it over. There we go, and just until you're happy with the size. So now you can see I've got the measurements box in the bottom right hand side of the screen, and that's really important so that we can see how large the things that we're creating are. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more, and then I'm going to click on the circle tool, and that's on the far left hand side tool menu, and then I'm going to go to the origin point. Click the left mouse button and move the cursor outwards, and you can see the radius of the circle changes, and you can see in the size box at the bottom it's now 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters, and it increases as I move outwards. So I want to make a 1 centimeter coin, so I want this to be about 5 millimeters more or less. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect, but there we go. It's about 5.03 millimeters. That's fine. So now I'm ready with that shape. I'm going to click the left mouse button again to apply it. And there we go. So that's just over 1 centimeter wide in total. Next, I'm going to make it 3D because right now it's a 2D shape. So click on the push-pull tool here to extrude. It's the small square with the red arrow coming out of it. So click that and move the mouse cursor over the 2D face you've just created, and you'll see blue dots appear, so that's highlighted. Click and hold the left mouse button and drag upwards, and I'm going to make this around 2 or 3 millimeters. So let's just say about 2 millimeters. So it's 2.04 millimeters right now. That's fine. Make it maybe a little bit more, so 2.5 millimeters more or less. There we go. So that's now just a small coin. There's no other detail on it. We're just going to print this out, and that's ready to export as an STL file. We can export as an STL file by clicking File, export STL, but you do need to make sure that you've installed the export STL plugin. If you haven't done that yet, this won't appear in your menu, and that's why there is a plugin for this. So File, Export STL, click that. It will come up with this little message box. Ignore all of these options, just click Export, and it will ask you where you want to save it. So I'm going to save it to my desktop, but you can save it wherever is appropriate for you, and then give it a file name. I'm just going to call it coin, and then leave the .stl there, leave the file extension. So save as coin STL, it's going to save to the desktop. Click save, and it's done, it's ready to go. So if you check your desktop now, you'll see this STL file. You can put that onto a USB drive and start messing around with that in the slicer, which prepares it for the 3D printer.